Yes. Hey there, everybody. You know who I am. I'm coming to you from Connecticut. And today I'm joined by my friend and admin, Matthys, who is a South African living in Texas, who I met in March, at the end of March. So we actually are real friends, not just internet buddies. Now we can say we're real friends. And Matthys and I are concerned about refugees when they first come here, that they have not such great expectations about work and that they don't waste any time uh, earning money. And that's what we want to talk about today.
100%.
Okay. Now, some of these careers you had over in South Africa, you will need uh, to be assessed, your education to be assessed, and your accreditations to be looked at. Sometimes you'll need to be recertified, and this is a process. So you won't get that perfect job you fit into right away. And we think it's best that people take jobs they wouldn't really normally want to take. And Matthijs, we're going to talk about the cost of living with first a fast food job and how easy it is to get one of these jobs.
Yes, I do understand completely. A lot of people do not want to jump in this low rating per hour. But if at this stage when you arrive here, just example McDonald's. That was I choose McDonald's as a second income. Back in the day, I had two jobs. If you go careers, jobs, McDonald's on Google, you will get a career page. You will put in your zip code, and you can apply on the portal itself with under 10 minutes. Rates is 12 to 15 an hour, maybe more, maybe less, depends on your state. So, one or two couple working at McDonald's will earn around, say, for the month, depends on your overtime, 2,500, maybe a bit more, before taxes, which is a total of 5,000 income until you can get anything your heart desires. But until that, you need to start looking for the out for the family and working.
And there's a lot of other good things about starting to work, like getting out into the community, talking to people, getting to know your area, making connections with people. Now, how quickly can you get this job at McDonald's?
Well, online, they will schedule you maybe interview in the same week. That is my experience. What I've done, I have no idea if the system have maybe changed, but yeah, it's very quickly online. If the system is still the same, you'll be able to apply online within 5 or 10 minutes.
Wow. Okay, what about manufacturing jobs? We know there are a
Yes,
lot of these.
yes. Earning regarding around 15.50 to $17 an hour to start.
In
Husband,
Texas.
wife. Say again.
Now, this is in Texas
Yes, correct.
and
Texas,
in the South, basically.
South. Yes, South of Texas.
Well, I want to just make it clear that as you go north, the salaries for both of these jobs creep up a little bit. They're a little bit more because the cost of living is more up north. But
Yes.
the manufacturing job, now that would take a little more time to get hired.
Yes, that's about from out of my experience and people that did get employment, they look about 2 weeks, 2 to 6 weeks. Depends on how quickly people is coming and going, in my opinion.
Okay, don't you think a lot of these manufacturing places, like cars parts, all sorts of manufacturing places, right now there's a cheese factory in Lubbock that is crying for employees. I've heard that. I know that. But don't you think that in general they're always looking to hire new people?
Yes, yes, yes. 100%. Always every month basically. People are in the my opportunity, what I've seen in Texas, people is always coming and going. But the South Africans, we like to grow in a company and then grow. But a lot of people here, there is a lot of jobs and they jump, and that's maybe a thing to look at, not to jump to grow in a company. That's my opinion. Yeah.
Okay, now I did talk about the salaries being a little bit more in the north, less in the south, and that also goes with rentals. Now, the one bedroom apartment I was staying at in San Antonio for a few days, that was only $920 a month. But I've seen pretty nice looking apartments in Lubbock for as low as $700 a month. Uh, I've been looking around. So these rentals are lower in the south, but then you've got that lower salary. So it does make sense. And there are more apartments in these areas in Texas, not just in Texas, in other places too. But I think Texas has kind of a unique rental atmosphere with these apartment complexes. They,
Yes, very huge. Yes,
they're well, they're big and they built a lot of them and they've got a high vacancy rate,
correct.
which means they need to get tenants in there. So that makes it
Yes,
easier. Now in Connecticut, our apartment vacancy rate is 2.8 or something like that. In Texas, it's 11 or 12 percent vacancies at any
yes.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
empty apartment. Yes, yes.
So, and I also want to explode the blue state, red state myth. A lot of people go on about this. Well, we don't want to live in a blue state. We've got to go to a red state. And I just want to make the point that really it's about the city versus the country. All over the United States, it's about the city versus the country. I live in a blue state. I've lived in Connecticut for a long time. A blue state gives more benefits. They're kind of more merciful. That's the truth. Now, the refugees here in Connecticut are getting their Medicaid for a full year. And these are single people with no children, but they're getting their Medicaid in Connecticut for a full year, no questions asked, unless they suddenly make so much money that they don't qualify anymore.
Yes, and that is picked up by your social security within a
Yes.
month or two as soon as you start working. Yes.
Yeah, so there are a lot of refugees that are happy in Vermont, happy in Connecticut. There are even some happy in New York State. Just they're not inside of a city. That's where the problem comes in. Our cities have a lot of problems. That's all I will say about that.
Yes.
Now tell me, Matthijs, if you go for the lowest type of job with the lowest wages and you're only working 40 hours, do you think a single person or a couple with a child with one person working could make it? So that would be $2,000 a month at 12.50 an hour with no overtime. $2,000 a month. So let's say you get an apartment for 800. So you've got 1,200 left. Uh, take away 100 for electric. That's 1,100 left. 50 for your cell phones. Uh, that's 1050. What else are we paying for? A car insurance. Let's hope you don't have to take out a loan for a car. That
Yes.
will please try not to get into debt. But car insurance itself could cost you $100 and up a month. So that's
Correct.
but you still have 950 left for the month.
Yes. Two to three people. Definitely. You'll be able to make it, but just don't expect the what you are used to until you have grown into a much better position regarding financially. You'll be able to afford food, gas, everything, 100%.
Yeah, even with that low salary, as long as you're living in an inexpensive apartment, Um,
That's the most important. Yes, 1,000 or less. For one or two bedroom, 1,000, 1,200 depends again which complex you get into.
and just remember, everyone, you can still go to the food banks when the agency, resettlement agency, is no longer helping you. You can continue to go to the food banks because if you
Yes.
are at this lower salary, you still qualify. You can go to all the food banks you can to get
Mm.
that little extra help. Um, Now, what about children? Pe I've heard people say, well, the daycares are having a waiting list. We can't get our child into the daycare, so the wife can't work. Um, and I'm going to suggest, because a lot of South Africans are put together, I'm going to suggest that people help each other and watch each other's children. So if the woman wants to go to work, she has this skill, she can go for, a better kind of job maybe in bookkeeping or admin or something somewhere, and she really wants to get to work. Well, her child or children can be taken care of by a South African neighbor for less than a daycare would charge, right? That's
100%.
that's one solution. I think it's a good solution.
Yeah, look on your community, speak on your community where you live, and
Hmm.
ask. I mean, 100%. We're here to help each other and support each other, and that's someone can maybe ask an income in that way in the long run.
Yes, that gives the other family a little extra income. It's all good if you can work together and help each other. Now, as far as jobs go, I want to talk just a second about this Amazon warehouse they're opening near me where I live. It's this huge warehouse on a hill. You can see it from the highway, and they're going to start hiring people at the end of this year. And I think that they start the warehouse jobs at over $18 an hour. They're also looking for delivery drivers. I don't think you don't need a CDL to drive an Amazon truck, just a regular license. So I don't think that would be a problem. And those delivery jobs are over $21 an hour to start, I think. Something in that range. I can't find anything
Yes.
online yet about those, but that is a good opportunity. But you'll always get treated well at an Amazon warehouse. It's robotically assisted. It's brand new. It's clean. I don't know. I did work. I did work at a factory for 3 weeks because they were hiring extra people for Christmas. And I had never worked in a factory. I wanted to see what it was like. And I had some friends that worked there in the upper, they were engineers that I knew. And so I did. And, it just it just wasn't for me because I can't do repetitive motion work. My neck is all messed up. But yeah, it was quite a different experience, Matthijs. No, it
I
wasn't
believe so.
bad. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't what I was accustomed to. But the money was good. It was here in
Yeah, it's
Connecticut.
it's like you said with your neck, but there's people that will be able to do it, and it's just a starter job until you get into something more in your field or in your class.
Yeah, I mean, there are whistles that blow that tells you when the break time is or when your lunch time is, and you do this repetitive thing, but you're treated with respect. I kind of enjoyed it. I took a special class when I was at the factory about how to recognize uh, when there is a gunfire near you. Yeah, how to know when there's some sort of emergency. They want to keep everyone uh, thinking, about these things. When a lot of people get together, you know, who knows? But anyway, don't worry about that. Don't worry. Anyway, actually, it was a pretty good experience, but it was only a temporary job. And I just think all of these other smaller, lower tier jobs, I think South Africans can do them temporarily. And it's just better than holding back and having weeks and weeks where you're not working. And then
Yes.
you're spending your savings, you're running out of money, you're getting nervous. We know that money problems are just such a headache and a worry, right?
Yes. No, 100%.
Okay. Anything else that I left out?
No, I'm thinking no. No, that's good. If people have questions regarding all this, they can always comment later, and then we can address things if you have any question or queries.
Okay, we will do that. And we'll talk to you all later. Thank you, Matthijs.
Thank you, Shelly. Thank you. It's good.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
Bye. Bye.